And begin the Sunday prep. And as per usual, we're going to take a look at our ETFs, which that's not one. And man, I tell you what, last week I saw a lot of you guys really, really, really proud of y'all because straight up, oh, damn. Oh, y'all, damn. Thanks for the gift, bro. Chill out. But the Discord, man, and I'm tempted to show you, but I was gone. The gains did not stop. So those of you guys who are in the Discord and you took this week to take that next step up, you're now probably ready to start your own fucking Discord. Yeah, 400. I mean, these are ridiculous percentages. Without my help, 3,100%, 733%. I mean, beautiful. So absolutely awesome job from you guys. And hopefully we can replicate something similar this week. So looking into this week, we've got the Forex Factory here. We're not sponsored by them, but here they are. I cannot believe that we are at the last week of February. This is diabolical. Monday, we have nothing. We have on Tuesday, we have CB Consumer Confidence. We have Wednesday, really nothing, just more like kind of chop stuff. So hopefully we're running off of some sort of momentum. And I would say that this week's actually relatively quiet. So preliminary GDP quarter over quarter, unemployment claims coming in. So that might make for a good swing setup depending on what the chart looks like. And then you just finish the week with core CPE or PCE prices. What does the Discord get you? It gets you in the Discord, a part of the group, one of the best scanners to ever exist. Our Discord is filled with hundreds of people who all use the same strategy. They all work together. And that way they're refining and finding extremely profitable plays. But I do want to encourage those of you guys who are looking to join because you want signals or anything like that. This is not for you. This is for people who think that it is something that they can do on their own. And if you are wanting to make money, that's where I can help. So make money independently. Excuse me. I'm trying to finish my sentences here. So anyway, that is our current setup for the week. There we go. As far as the economic data, relatively quiet, nothing huge. So let's move into our ETFs. So last week, y'all experienced, and man, I tell you what, after we broke out, and after you break out, typically you're going to see continuation to the upside. And in this case, you did not. Right? You actually built on top of this first actual red candle close here to your left. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, kind of pushing that pretty far. And then we did end up declining and closing underneath the 606.22 mark with cost basis looming. So obviously the 24-hour signal as of right now, oops, sorry about that, folks. The 24-hour signal as of right now is we are looking for a 598 44 breakdown for a clear target underneath us. I think when we step down to the 4-hour, we're going to remind ourselves of where the possibilities of a large crash or dump rather occur, right? We did leave empty space up above us. It is possible that we do bounce and we do retest the top of this. But as far as I'm concerned, underneath 598, we're looking down here at 590 and ultimately down to the 584. So there's still a tremendous amount of opportunity to the downside, given the fact that we continue moving to the downside. And so that's going to require negative catalysts to continue moving in. At the same time, right, a little dip. If you were able to break back over the 606.50 mark, we are looking back up. So right now, my diagnosis is we're looking for a bounce here to see whether or not SPY has the buyers still available underneath us to reverse and fill this empty space. Again, that's something that you can do on a lower time frame. I do want to encourage those of you guys who are going to be trading tomorrow to pay attention to the 5-minute box that you left, 15-minute box, excuse me, that you left right here. You closed with a cost basis mark of $600.24. So where do we go up? On SPY, for me, I'm looking for a climb back up at 601.80, or excuse me, 601.70. That should give us a run up to hit that resistance, and that's going to be marked out here at 605.66. So that's the current goal. If we're playing to the upside, and again, unbiased until we have one. And right now the overall bias is down, right? Because we are breaking down underneath, but we know that retests are possible. So that's SPY right now on the 24-hour. We're going to take a look at the Qs. Same story, right? We broke out. We should have maintained. We did not, right? We had four or five candles sitting above resistance, and we pulled back, right? Right underneath that 532 mark. And like SPY, right, there is some pretty significant structure underneath us. So for the Qs, by the way, if you guys are just hopping in here, I got a 111 degree, or damn, 111, I'm dead. 101 fever right now. So if I miss my words or something like that, forgive me. Fuck. Whew. Not time yet, brain. All right, so we are looking at the 521.32, right? That is going to give us a move down to our floor of 510. We can go to the 4 hour and we can see how clear that level is. And again, it is possible, like SPY, to can go back up and retest that 530 retest. How do you get sick taking the week off? How do I get sick? The same way everybody else. I'm good, guys. I'm on garlic, vinegar, cayenne pepper, ibuprofen. I don't know. Might start doing some whippets or something. So anyway, we are looking at the 521.50. Yeah, also I have children, so I don't know if you guys have children. If you don't have children, you're going to get immunized somehow at least once a month. So if they go to school anyway. All right, so that's the current diagnosis. That's what we're looking at. And again, you know, we're starting to break down into areas where, yes, right, and we talked about this when I was week before last, that 530.50 is, yeah, where we're probably going to start calling this bearish. So how do you get sick making so much money? Yeah, right. I wish I could take money and make myself feel better. All right, so let's continue. We're going to finish up with IWM. I'm going to go over a few plays that I'm looking at going into the weekend, or going into this new week here. So let's take a look at IWM, which, woo, boy, I tell you what, this thing has the juice, right? And I'm thinking that there's just another leg down here, and we're going to find out whether or not IWM has that. And again, right now with those big legs down, that can drive sellers, and reversing that price is a great way to squeeze sellers out. So looking at the lower time frame, like the Qs, like SPY, we need to find some structure. We can see here we closed with a small box. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a gap down. I actually haven't seen futures at all, so might be a good time to go take a peek at that. Nope, it doesn't open yet. Switch between ibuprofen and Tylenol. Oh yeah, I'll be fine by tomorrow, guys. This is one of those like 24-hour sicknesses. Like I was sweating hard, so we're good. We're good. So anyway, I want you guys to pay attention on Monday. Tomorrow, this and this are going to be very profitable areas for reversals. So right outside of that 218.75, we're looking for a retest of that floor. So that's IWM as of right now. Look, again, opportunity to the upside. Just stay unbiased until the biased, until the overall higher time frame bias sets in. Okay, so that is our ETFs going into this week, right? We have some opportunity to the downside. Me personally, I always like when things pop back up, retest those sell levels, and typically you'll see an even stronger move down. So that's what I'm hoping to see here going into this week. Not really a data-filled week, so these empty space could be areas where we consolidate until we have the data that we need to continue. So with that being said, I took very few trades last week, so here's a couple of things that I'm looking at, and we will try to build an even better watch list with your guys' request. So underneath us, SoFi. Now, I posted SoFi in the Discord right around here and ended up taking that at the end of the day, right? That is declined to the floor. I'd like to see SoFi, again, I'm already in profit, but I would like to see, and it's really a sneaky little fucker right here, but look at this right here. I would like to see a move down And I have it measured out that this wick right here is likely going to be a potential target around 1250, 1237. So that's SoFi. Low risk, high reward, good price contracts, nice cost basis under here that we have continued to bounce off of. So your targets are 1416 and 1362, continuation to the downside. Really quickly, we already got that one. A couple other people. So, not super stoked on. I did take SoFi last week, so my watch list is relatively small. But I would like to be looking at things like MU. And that's been. I was just looking at the other ETF or the other semiconductors here. But I think it's about time, as far as the weekly is concerned, to start looking at this area of consolidation on MU to possibly start declining. That's not a rush play. We're going to wait. I'm going to wait anyway. 24-hour time frame. I'm going to try my hardest to utilize this box underneath. And so a breakdown underneath 96.33, breakdown underneath 91.85, and a move to the downside. So I'm Potter data. That's funny. But we have a large area of consolidation. I think this thing breaks. I think we could see a leg down to 65.60. The first target would be 72. But I do really like that MU consolidation. It is going to break, and when it does, it should be pretty awesome. So, all right. So with that being said, if you guys have any requests, please go ahead and drop those down. I'm going to move through them as quickly as I can. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and start with the BABA chart here. So one thing that I always like to disclose before we go and break this down is Chinese stocks do whatever the fuck they want, right? But empty space and mechanics are, that's just it, right? That's what they abide by. So I have a target to the upside of 160. And that is empty space on the 24-hour. That is realistically cost basis. And so for BABA, you have secured that floor. Anything underneath 137, that's a breakdown. If we're moving up, I see a gap up, and more than likely it's going to be a swing trade. That's going to be at 159.65, 160. So Meta, and again, when I give you this analysis, what is your job? Your job is to go down to the lower time frames, find the same shit, and see where those boxes or where you can utilize the hourly, the 15-minute to take that trade to the upside. Love this shirt. Hell yeah. All right. So, Meta. Let's look at the weekly. So, first big weekly red candle. And as you can see here, that does not always mean that you're going to be heading all the way down. But what is underneath you? It's mostly empty space. So, that's going to make it a little easier. However, it does appear that sellers are pretty well in control. And so we can go ahead and draw a line in the sand and say that if Meta was to reverse to 704.60, that would be a potential reversal spot. I'm just drinking liquid death, which sounds like you shouldn't drink that when you're sick, but it's all right. So my target to the downside at the moment, we're looking for 674. And then you're going to have to move into this lower time frame. See that floor right there? You're going to want to see that break down. And where's your structure, right? The majority of that structure is going to be here. And so I think you're looking at a 635 breakdown, if that is obviously in the cards. There is still a remaining uptrend that looks like that. So this area is definitely vulnerable. So all right, let's take a look at Schwab. So I actually still maintain the same bias that I had before. On the weekly, you got driven down to the floor. I think this thing comes down, guys. I'm really, and I kind of left that one off the fucking watch list. Yeah. Okay, so tomorrow, definitely going to be looking at Schwab. Yeah. So So how many charts setting up to the downside? Quite a few. My fiance is not having a bachelorette party, and I'm not having a bachelor's party. Benefits and maybe negative of not having a ton of in real life friends. Awesome. No, we just not a lot of people near us. Most of my friends are like in different states. I listen. Some guy on TikTok was like, Garrett, if your girl's in Nashville, she's cheating on you. Hold on, let me go check. Yeah, she might be in Nashville. She didn't answer. So, all right. Schwab is bearish. I see a breakdown, right? 80-20, gap fill, return to 75. And maybe I just need to buy a little bit of a longer contract. Yeah, you're not in, you weren't just in Nashville, were you? They said that they saw there's a viral TikTok video. Some guy heard some person somewhere say like, if your name's Garrett, then your wife's in Nashville cheating on you on a bachelorette party. Hmm. I don't know. We went to South Carolina the other day. You were in the bathroom for a long time, so could have been in fucking Nashville. I'll have a bachelor party with you, dude. Yeah, please. No, it's more or less like I would probably only have like two people, and just doesn't seem like it's worth it. So anyway, this is bearish. So what do we got next? Airbnb. Shoo. I don't really have any doubt that you're going to go touch 144.45, and then if you do break down below that 140.88, no problem. No problem. That's where you're going to go. I mean, you got a sharp decline back down. That's about it as far as floors. So 144.50. Watch how the um mm. Yeah, maybe we can do a digital meetup on the Discord and hold a bachelor party there. All right, so that's Airbnb. I don't see. If anything, I would be watching for the bounce. I'm not one to chase things like this. So be on the lower time frame and start looking for where you reverse. That looks like it's going to be above 147.50. XOSL or XOXL or you know what? Never mind. We're not gonna keep trying. Nice decline down, but I would say you're right at that wall. So let's look at the 4 hour. Okay, so for SOXL, you're you're at 2880. So obviously you have a little bit of empty space underneath you, but I would be paying attention to 2794, and I'd probably be looking at this. So watch possibly for a bounce here, right? Big breakdown. It is possible. With the so your job. Um, have I heard of the Jorge Capri high water strategy? No, I haven't. So this is definitely something I'd be on the lower time frame watching this box, and that's exactly where you bounced off of. So Tesla help. That's not good. So with any box like this, right, or structure, you're going to have to re-break that floor. And that's exactly what you bounced off of. And this could create a possible uptrend. So remember, big leg down, they might build it sideways, even wick it down, but watch that empty space up above you before you go, full bearish. You're going to need to see that breakdown. I would want to see it under 335.23 to go grab that floor. But remember, there's a retest of that 347 mark. Do I do ZA? No, I don't do. My strategy works perfectly on that, but I'm not a futures, so I'm an options trader. So, all right. Yeah, so I actually ended up selling my PLTR last week, and since then it has continued to decline. I'm really happy with all of the sells, and I've made a lot of money on PLTR, and now looking at it underneath us, it's starting to give signals that it wants to go eat that empty space up underneath us. So same thing. We're going to look at the floor. The floor is here, and that's at 90. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to lower that, right? And that's because when we move down to the 2 hour, we just have a single bounce floor. So my thoughts are at the moment, you could be looking at a box, or if you could just get underneath 9610, 9610, and we're going down. We're going down. So, but that one I would be I would be looking for the formation or the start of some sort of channel, right? But anyway, that's it for PLTR. Downside play does look great. So small yay. The fuck are you talking about, dude? What's up, y'all? Be sure to tap your screen if you can. Very much a I did Airbnb already. KDP 24-hour. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Yo, that's going. That's going. And you're going to see a first target right here at 35. That should be your next target. This does look really, really good. I would be looking at 35 and, of course, 36. That is very simple. That is easy. And that gets written down. Now, that couldn't move without us, but I definitely would be remiss if I did not try. So KDP looks pretty damn good. I do also, and I can observe a small channel here. Yeah, so I feel pretty good about that 35.76 target. But yeah, these are all on YouTube. If you guys are on here, make sure to go subscribe to the YouTube channel. We just hit 13K. Pretty cool. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, just going Potter Sucks Trading right here. And the educational channel has the most, if not all, everything you need. So, all right, SPY. I already did SPY. I'm sorry. That'll be on the YouTube video, the first request that I made. So, this was one of the. I only bought this on Peyton's account. I got $60 calls. It broke out from 50. It went straight up like it should. It even went up and tapped the floor here at 66. So I would be looking at a potential for a decline. You're going to have to use the lower time frame hourly chart right here. I wouldn't be surprised if you actually gap down. So pay attention to this channel right here. It says that you should be retesting $50 relatively soon. So I got into KDP too early. I don't know, man. I think you did a pretty good job. Maybe I don't have all the information here. So, you're getting very close to a sharp decline. So we'll focus on the most recent price action. The box is underneath us. You're holding underneath it. So underneath the 1221 mark, that would be a separate area of consolidation right here. So 1202 breakdown, and you should see Rivian back at 1040. It does have a supporting channel down, kind of like so. So yeah, that's where I'd be at with Rivian at the moment. It's got a lot of fight here. So if you can get above 1329, perhaps 1368 would be a retest mark, maybe even a reversal mark, but that looks pretty bad. UPST. I would say right now, looking at this play is over. Yeah, I would say right now you're looking for a bounce basically around $70 whole. And that's where, yes, like everything else, you could see a retest halfway or even all the way back up. It appears you have a lower time frame, maybe a channel here. I'm not 100% on that one, but yeah, I would be watching next week to see whether or not you get a bounce here, because you are in a position where you broke out and then you've declined back underneath that sell wall. So if you did punch through this 66.50, I would be straightforward at a $55 target. So Amazon, that has much further to go. You're looking at a 214.40 breakdown open, and you're looking at a target of 208.45. So not a bad setup there at all. Weekly time frame, definitely speaking to a weekly gap at 208.45. So I like that one. Um, oh my God. Am I going viral on Reddit right now? Oh, I made one comment. Holy shit. That's 67,000 likes. That's fucking nuts. Um, why does all my chart show all those CME gaps, but yours doesn't? 24-hour chart, Maxwell. That's one of the most important elements of our strategy. So, still doing it. You have been steady on here for years, consistent. Yep. Yep. Thank you guys for all the gifts, by the way. Yeah, man. I don't think you're gonna see me going anywhere until the stock market stops existing. Yeah, can't walk away from a strategy like this one. UPS. So let's see what that looks like. Weekly looks like you're trying to create some sort of green, but boy, if what I told you guys a week ago is still not fucking true. I would love for this to go down, and I think that you should love for this to go down too. Pause, but it has nobody's buying, right? The volume on this is incredibly low. You are up against the wall, so outside of 116 with the right momentum, you'd have 118 as a wick target. But other than that, me personally, I would want to see a breakdown under that 2 hour 115.60 because I want this 24-hour box. Yeah, I mean, and this is just again a preference, but I would want to see something along these lines, and then a move up. But that's where you could see that chop all the way until next earnings. So, XOM. Oh, my body is so fucking sore right now. I wonder what my temperature is. It was 101 a second ago before I got on here. Uh, I I think when I look at this, I just see a large area on the 24-hour for, yeah. So you're bullish above 112.21, and then as of right now, 110.14 breaks, and you could be looking at a third rotation down underneath that 109.50. So. Let's see here. Apple up. No box, at least here. You did punch out. You did go try to attempt to make a new high, but you did fail. And this does, I think, say something about the current setup here on Apple. I mean, this could end up being an excruciating, and it really didn't respond. So, I mean, there is strength here for sure. So I would be not completely unbiased, but I would mark this out. So underneath 423.83, there's a couple spots here on Apple, like here. I'm late to the new update though, but a minute. Yeah, my background's a little different now, boss. Yeah, this is being posted on YouTube. So, all right. So anyway, I would also apply this channel here. This is likely something that you could expand all the way down right here. So there is a chance for Apple to move back down to 236 and even further. But yeah, this looks like it's gonna try to punch down. So oh, thank you guys, whoever, if you're following me or if you're commenting on my videos, just got a bunch of notifications. Appreciate you. All right, so let's take a look at Crocs here. Crocs has a floor reclaim fighting with cost basis. So this is something where you're just waiting. You're just paying attention to, and we talked about the overhead wall here being exactly where I want to take this at 114. So the easiest thing that you can do is erase everything and just box yourself out because you have an extremely vulnerable downside underneath you with a couple of price targets around 99.10 being your imbalance and maybe even down to 91. So it is imperative that you move above 111.25. You guys, if you want to check out the YouTube video I post here in just a second, as soon as I get off, you guys can go through all of these requests again. So I have done all of our ETFs. So yeah. Yeah. What's the benefit of the 24-hour time frame? I'm really glad that you asked that. So I describe this as the hidden market in a way, where it's a market that most people don't get to see. And what it does is it not only gives you perspective, but it also shows you the true structure and mechanics of the market, right? So when I look at this, I look at the 24-hour, right? I can see where all of these candles give me signals as far as where I want to take something long, or it's clear. When I take that away, it's missing, right? And the analysis all of a sudden breaks down where you're unable to see the same structure that you were able to see. And one of my favorite examples of this is on Mara. And going back a decent amount, right? I want to take this opportunity to just show you guys what happens or what the difference is. So if you notice here on this area of consolidation, we use floors and cost basis and the top of boxes as stop losses because we know that's where stocks will bounce. It's part of the mechanicals or the part of the mechanics. So, and we can see that same phenomenon here where you bounce off cost basis and then you move back up. Now that's all clear. It looks great. This is a perfect example of a punchback, right? And empty space being filled up all the way. But when I remove the 24-hour time frame and go back to the daily, that's what I'm looking at. And that's a lot more difficult and does not show me real floors, right? Solid floors. It is absolutely one of, think about it, even on the highest professional levels, this is not something that is taught. In fact, I even stumped AI in a debate about why this matters and why it doesn't. So you will find that the charts go from being slightly confusing to very clear. And it makes our life a whole lot easier. It also shows you why swing traders are better than day traders. Period. End of story. Right. And anybody could try to argue this with me, but you know, I wanted to show you an example. Right. Day traders are left with scraps. See this candle right here? This is actually a trade that we caught. We took it at the end of the day, and the next morning we took profit. When you remove this, it shows you, look, that's a day trader. You open up at 590, and the only area you go up to 592. When you zoom down into the lower time frames, you're chopping. And look at how many gap ups. You move down, you chop, you chop. I mean, it is absolutely one of the clearest things. I hardly ever scalp. I day trade here and there when the setups align with the 24-hour time frame down on a lower time frame, and they, and you lose on that chop. Now, statistically, 80% of the market movement is overnight. So if you're just somebody who can just make a simple statistical fucking decision, right? If somebody goes and says 98% of day traders lose, and then somebody says 80% of the market movement happens overnight, that's simple math in my opinion, right? That's not confusing. Okay, we're left with scraps for day traders, and then when you see what we're capturing, this is why we're able to make thousands of percentages, because we don't look at that, right? So anyway, hopefully that helps. Hopefully Marcel watches this later on and clips that for me. So all right, so 24-hour time frame is the way to go. And listen, you will never learn this. There is a very small fraction of people who are using this. And so I really encourage people to look at the market via that. It changes. It's changed my life, dude. So it's just crazy. It's crazy to look at the chart and be like, okay, so that's what you're going to do to make your life easier, is to trade the hardest thing in the world. So anyway, all right. So let's keep taking requests. That was a good little informational. Dutch Bros. Isn't that the same as a daily candle? It is not. In fact, I can show you again. Right? It doesn't allow you just don't see the same structure. Now, some stocks only move during regular hours, so you're not going to see much of a difference at all. But that would be a very small percentage of stocks. So, all right. So we're going to do something really simple here, right? We're just going to take this big ass candle, and we're going to find our floor. Our floor is right here at 81.32, and we're going to bring it down. And as per usual, we're sitting at the 50% mark. So that's where we go down, right? Now we need to find out what it looks like on this time frame, because as of right now on the 15-minute, you have created a box. So where does bros go up and eat up all of that empty space that you left behind? Because this is easy to move through, right? And how does that affect the higher time frame? So if you, again, taking the same strategy that I teach you guys every day, the same strategy we use every day, we're looking for an area of consolidation. We can see that price is refusing that. We can make decisions both to the up and the downside, right? 75.55 breakdown, and we can see a 74.81. If we can punch over 76.50, I would split this in half, right around 78.55, but that would be one of your first targets to the upside, and then remaining target would be 80.67. So that is Dutch Bros. Now, if Dutch Bros does continue moving to the downside and breaks that 50% mark, then by all means, $68 is to the downside. So lots of empty space there. But again, how you move is going to dictate, whether you keep your foot on the gas pedal or not. All right, AAL. If you guys want to see the breakdown on all of the ETFs, that is going to be on YouTube and right after this live is done. So. All right, so let's delete everything. I believe when I talked about this one last time, we did talk about the potential for that empty space to get filled up, and lo and behold, you're there, right? So when I look at this, right, and I look at all of that, it all of a sudden becomes incredibly unattractive to me. Now, I'll implement a parallel channel up here, and see if that does me any good. It does. And so I would be looking down for a confluence. And a confluence is just a fancy way of saying that two lines run into one another, right? 1450 and, of course, 1411 would be two potential targets depending on how you move down. And I do believe that there is, most of the time when you move like this, typically some sort of channel here. And so that's kind of what I'd be looking to channel, is the channel. In fact, okay. How much downside is priced into? We'll take a look at that in a minute. Yeah, let's look at it now. All right. So the most important thing here, I think, is that we establish what's happening on the 24-hour or on the weekly, right? And so finding and identifying where the weekly floor is going to be a really big help. So when I look at this, right, I see most of the candles holding around 388. It doesn't really give me a ton of clarity, so I'm going to move down here. Now, in this case, I see that there's a floor right here at 380.145, and so I can just come to a simple decision or a simple conclusion that that is exactly what needs to break. Now, directly underneath you, you'll find that there's a box right here. It's not the cleanest box I've ever seen in my life, but it does have a floor of 375.78, and then I see an empty space draw down to 367.23. So there could be continuation to the downside, but how do we find that out, and how do we left without being just wondering, right? So we can observe how price responds to a floor, right? If you move down and you just sit and you don't move and you just go sideways, there's a good chance you will be going back up for a retest, because sellers have hit that buy floor and they're unable to push it down. And so you're going to go move back up and you're going to hit 391 first. So that's an alternative and something that you can identify by looking at the lower time frame, 15-minute. And we can go ahead and just find a small floor here, and we'll go ahead and just call that what it is. It's a small box. So over 387.15, watch for a retest of 390. Yeah, I know they had earnings. Okay, so Riot had a breakdown underneath its floor of 1091, right? 4-hour time frame shows that we're already responding to the box underneath us off of cost basis, right? So my thoughts are, right, and setup wise, there's probably something better out there, but there's empty space to retest 1150, and that would be accomplished by reclaiming that 1091 floor. Otherwise, if you're looking to the downside, this box is going to be the most important. And again, this is just a really good example of how real this strategy is. Random stock, random box, area of consolidation, and a bounce, right? HG didn't have earnings this last week. I could have sworn well, then look for those targets to be hit. So if they haven't had earnings. Hold on, I'm taking my temperature real quick, bro. Damn, bro. I'm 101.5, dude. Sheesh. I'm hot as fuck right now, dude. I'm on fire. That's all right. I don't give a fuck. Fuck this virus. You can't stop me. I'll eat that virus's family. Snow. Beans. Ooh. Delicious. How about let's draw it down. Let's see. Oh my god. Oh my god. So I would love to see a breakdown right underneath this 175.94, and I would be targeting the structure that you came from, which is gonna be, so you punch through that box. Yeah, I'd be looking at a target around 167.75. So hey man, Friday was a fantastic day. I saw you guys. I watched the Gaines channel. I was fucking so impressed, man. It's feels good to do exactly what you said you were gonna do and fucking create independent traders, dude. These motherfuckers don't need me. Now I will say, to those of you guys watching this back later, or maybe you're watching now, if you were able to execute on your own, don't come back. Like, I'm not saying don't. There's something that this is a good opportunity for me to say this. If you are able to identify your own trade, I just turned my music off for this. So if you were able to identify your own trades last week, take those trades and make money. Stop looking for other people to confirm your chart. You need to see, without any assistance, whether or not your analysis is something that you can double down on, right? Or that you can take and see it play out. So for those of you guys who want to get better, stop asking other people. At some point, I'm not saying for the majority of you, but I'm saying that especially those of you guys who are, you're in 2-3 years, you're making money, you're doing well. See how that does for you. Confirm your own trades. That's what will give you a true fucking edge, is being able to say, yeah, I know I can slap these fucking plays. I don't even need Potter. And that's what my whole goal is, that you guys don't need me. So, and again, if you're in there and you're still needing that confirmation, absolutely, go for it. But I do encourage all of you guys to try. Give it a shot, even if that means you lower your risk. But, bro, I caught AAL last week without nobody, 160%. There you go, man. And if you do that, dude, if you do that 10 times, right, even with a loss or two in the middle, you're going to feel fucking great. Abide by your stop losses, and you'll feel even better. Snow underneath that floor, 174, looking for a target. Right, okay, that's not what I wanted to draw. We're looking for a target right there. So, target. Shit. But running with you is so much funner. Yeah, I know. But I have noticed that some people get very nervous, or they stop taking their trades as much because if I don't sign off on it 100%, so it draws doubt in people's minds. So it's about protecting you. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say we're not dealing with it all the time with getting out of a trade and then it just keeps ripping without us. I know some people probably deal with that still, but yeah, I mean, can I come to your wedding? We are filled up, my guy. I have spent so much money on catering and stuff. It's yeah, this has turned into like a $40,000, which I mean, fuck it. I'm not complaining at all. Blessed to be able to do it. I never thought I'd have a fucking big ass wedding. Um, so Target right now is sitting on 123.81. I'd be watching above you at 125 even for a retest of 126. Otherwise, you're looking at a cost basis target of 122.30. Can I bartend at your wedding for free? That'd be fucking cool. I use your strategy for SPX. You see my gain. Where are you at? PBS gain. Oh, dude. There you go. Look at you, man. Yeah, great job. Nice 216% play. Fucking beautiful, man. That's what I'm saying, dude. You guys, like, I legitimately believe in my heart that there is a large majority of people in the Discord who will absolutely, um, who could, I mean, I'm not encouraging you to do so, but like, you could call your own plays. You could start your own Discord. You could go head to head with any of these motherfuckers, and you could fucking make them embarrass them. I mean, so, uh, yeah, that's Target. All right. So what else do we have? Your eyes are quick. I took some good trades on ES. Could you call me a good boy? You are a good boy. That's right. Good boy. All right. Citigroup. Like other banks, I'm hoping that this follows into Schwab, but you are getting a punch back down. I would be looking for a floor 78.31 next week, and if that does break down, you could be in for a nasty breakdown. Um, I think the only thing that should be incorporated on the 4 hour time frame is a channel right here, but that channel does seem to, yeah, look at it. So at the moment, here's my current, delete everything. Here's the current diagnosis, okay? And this is going to help you a whole lot more than just trying to wait for one of those. So here's up, right? Simple. That's 80.32 and a retest of 81.20 and maybe even a move back up to 83.55. Or you have a breakdown 79.30 and that triggers, right, that empty space down. So I like that a lot, and I think that's something that you guys could definitely continue to focus on. But I would pay attention to this trend. Yeah, this trend. Sorry. My brain is hot. I got a hot brain. Oh. Oh. Someone said Tempest AI. Okay, so it looks like on the 4 hour deleting everything that you're just quite simply sitting on cost basis, right? And that's what we should see, right? So yes, there's a trigger breakdown, and where that would drive us, I think you would probably move down into this floor at 59. You do have some small boxes in between you, but with a good rolling momentum. But because we are at cost basis, um, do go rest the way you enjoy. That way you enjoy it. I'll be there in the morning, guys. We're good. So bounce right here, right? 7150. And that's obviously where we would see some sort of trend back up, and that could be sponsored by this little channel here. So keep your eyes peeled for that and pay attention to this empty space above. And realistically the box above, because there is more empty space up there. So I would be looking, yes, for a $67, $68 breakdown, a move below this floor, and hopefully you can just kind of like flush cleanly underneath that 6144 level. So I mean, so 300 million Pelosi's, then you look at this as a 75.50 take, right? And then you have your box up above here. So there's definitely potential to go back up. You're in a good place to see a potential reversal. So, but remember, I will say that sometimes when Pelosi gets in things, it doesn't necessarily mean you know, that it will go up. So, all right. Wow. So A and F, dude, damn, damn. Wow. I would trust the trend. Yeah. Confluential trend line bounce 93, 93, 94. Now you guys are already in this. Are you going to be posting this one? YouTube missed a lot because I had to go take a what? Take a shit. What are you? So you guys are already in there. Whoever top take it have big pockets. So yeah, I mean you look good to continue to the downside. I mean shit. Who knows? Maybe this fucker comes all the way long expiration downside. So I mean, be cautious just of a potential for a bounce. So just use the lower time frame hourly chart and set up your parameters above and below. But otherwise, this is pretty straightforward. So JPM. Okay. Could we like have the right ticker? There we go. Okay, 24-hour time frame. Damn, my head hurts. Mm, yeah, that's another one. Come on, dude. We need this. We need you to fucking right there. 250, 135. Thank you, Naomi. Mm-hmm. I really SMCI. I think we charted it a second ago. I still see this one coming back to 50. So, um, man, I tell you what, dude. I've said this before. I mean, I'd rather dung beetles extract live dung out of my butt for 3 days straight in the desert than have to trade Microsoft. And every time I look at this, something, a metaphor like that pops into my head. Like, why? Why would you want? Why? Don't. Anyway, you're looking for a breakdown under 405.60. Obviously, that could give you a leg down here, but you also have a nasty little channel here to the upside, and you're still holding on. So outside of 418, you need a what? A supply zone? Nah. Nah, supply and demand's hot dog water. Supply and demand doesn't do shit. That's why I don't fuck with the trade phantoms. That shit is for the birds. I also don't see people use supply and demand catching 1,000% trades. No, I hate Microsoft. Like I don't care if this thing fucking crashes and goes all the way to 360, 375. I could care less. I'll be. I mean, it has more of a bearish outlook, I think, but it just you're aiming for 388 if you're taking it. So, what do I think about mRNA? Could be geared up for some sort of punchback. So right now you have a box up above. You have a floor of $36, 24-hour time frame. Not bad. Now mRNA is got some decent, a little bit of empty space there. It looks like there's a downwards channel. That's not my favorite. So I think the way I'd be looking at this one is you're looking for a 4065 retest. And if you're able to break up above that, I mean, focusing even just on the weekly, because that seems like where you can draw a definitive line. It's cleaner. If you're looking at mRNA, you have to secure this floor, and I would be looking for a move over 4150 to try and shoot up to 53. So, toast. Another one that could be a decent opportunity to the downside, is too soon to go full bear. I mean, well, looking at the weekly and looking at this channel here, you know, there's definitely reason to believe there's continuation potentially to the downside. You had a box right here, absolutely fucking refused to go back up through it. And then you're currently sitting at cost basis. So if you're looking to take toast, which I am going to write down right now, thank you, Easy Living. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow if you end up taking off. So really quickly, this is one of those things where it's like I'll invert my chart, right? Because it's the same thing. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of mRNA either. That one just doesn't have the setup that I'm looking for. So, but anyway, 3710, right? Punch back, and then you look at this thing, and it's like, okay, I see a little channel reload here, and then you end up recovering your fucking trend. So when I look at this top channel, and then basically right up into the 31. So I get scared sometimes. Don't get scared. So yeah, I actually really fuck with toast. I like that a lot. Um, Ivy, that is the fucking nicest thing that anybody's ever fucking said to us. I might use that as my vows. That's fucking beautiful. um, thank you so much if you're here. Um, hmm. So I mean, you have absolutely crushed. I don't know exactly what you're looking for on this one, but I would be looking to touch down at 90.85. Period. Um, you've closed underneath, and again, I don't use supply and demand, and nor will I ever. But you did bounce out of floor here at $100.50, and you've lost it. So I'd be looking at 91.66 first. Google, another one. I mean, it's almost like you gotta fucking trust this shit because otherwise it's gonna leave you behind. Um, another one that is nearing some sort of structure underneath us, but underneath 180. So 180 is going to be a significant loss for Google. Right now, you're kind of declining in here. So the next target to the downside for Google is 175.50. Why don't you do supply and demand? Because it's not an answer to a question; it's an observation, right? It's like not it does it's not a strategy. It's like looking you're almost like rebranding support. Like it doesn't have a end goal. Oh, supply and demand. You bounced off supply. Well, now what? Now where? How do you know you don't? And so I see all of this like supply and demand talk, and I just personally think it's a way. And I mean, also, I'm somebody who looks at the evidence, right? I'm making $1,500, $2,000, 3,000% trades, 500% on the low end, like, we're not even really satisfied with 200% trades all the time. So it's like, yeah, why would I ever move anywhere else? Best tip for a day trader becoming a swing trader: stay away from your computer. Look at higher time frames, um, and buy at the end of the day. So you spent 40K on the wedding, about, yeah, somewhere in that ballpark. Still got more things to buy. I have to go buy all the liquor and stuff. So it's gonna be interesting. Um, yeah. So for Google, I mean, you're gonna have to incorporate this 4 hour chart, but I would personally watch 179.73 for a sharp breakdown to that 177 cost basis area. So staying single don't sound bad. Oh, dude, you can get married at the courthouse. I've been with Peyton for 12 years, and she rode with me through fucking jail. So I'm sure, like a lot of little girls, like she as a child dreamt about something like this. So it's within my power to do that. So would you say there are no supply and demand principles in your strategy? Everybody's looking at the same market, right? So we're all gonna have different words for the same thing. But yeah, I'm not I don't know any. I don't know enough, or nor did I study. I just learned about supply and demand, and nothing stuck. Right? Nothing was sticking. So yeah, it's just not something. Married 17 years. It's a long road. I knew I remembered you from somewhere. What are you talking about? Thank you guys for tapping your screen. By the way, I appreciate you. Yeah, that one, 177. So CMG. I'd be looking at 46 on this one. The weekly. Maybe. Okay. Well, dude, am I getting a haircut for the wedding? Duh. Starting to look like fucking Jesus. So me personally, because there is a box here and then a straight up floor here, I'd be aiming for 48 first. I mean, that's just like the most natural thing. And then I'd be aiming for that trend line, which that trend line should line up perfectly, right, with one of my boxes. So you'd be looking at a $47 touchdown. Did I get her a nice ring? I did. I did get her a nice ring. It's actually the jewelry maker's favorite ring, or his wife's favorite ring. I was like, well, that's crazy. Hold on one second. Actually, it's pretty fucking crazy because I don't know if you guys can see that. Nope. Yeah, I don't know. Hold on one second. It's a nice ring. Yeah, I think I showed you guys a while back. It's a nice ring. Now I'll go to the team. I already have a couple silicone ones. Um, Hold on one second. Try to fix something. Yeah, so the only thing that's missing from this is that is her ring. You know why divorces are so expensive? I hope I never know. But yeah, that's her ring. It's got a pink sapphires around the actual like ring itself. Um, so it's pretty fucking cool. All right. I'm trying to find my screen. Where the fuck did my shit go? There it is. Sorry. Couldn't find my chart. Yo, JD is on live voice by himself. Is he really? Manny's not arriving this week, though. Yep. JD is there. No, he's not. Yeah, I have my own jeweler who he's a good friend of mine, and he did this ring. It's Alan Wood Art, and he's an incredible. I've watched him come up from, making wire wraps. So, all right, ABVE up. We're gonna do a couple more here, and then we'll chill. I did Tesla already, by the way. All right, so weekly time frame. There is a lot of empty space. There's an easily identified floor up above you, sitting at $2. There's a 24-hour area of consolidation that you are currently choppily moving out of, right? So you're not really getting that intense volume push, but I think one way or another you'll grind up to go retest that 201. So Chad gurgling, what the fuck does that mean, dude? Sunny Boy already did snow, so make sure you guys all watch the YouTube videos. So I already did UPS, low volume, still choppy, trash. Yeah, so Reddit, another one that I ended up letting go of last week. Not equity wise. I've been holding equity since IPO. I got in on the IPO start via Reddit. But with this, right, you're dealing with a stock that went up really, really, really quickly, and this volume block should be what defends you from continuation to the downside. So with that being said, 156.54 and 149 are going to be two targets underneath you, and there's your box right here. But ultimately, I mean, this is one of those weekly candles that says a lot, and I mean, one could contemplate a move back down to where you started from. Um, in you, another one, right? And we're getting so many things that are flashing, major sells. So your new floor is going to be underneath you here. So you're looking for a 24-hour breakdown of 1050 in order to move down for the floor. Well, realistically, I mean, yeah, you should be able to break that. And so I'm going to throw two sets of analysis out here because this is like a lot of other things, something that moved down very quickly and it has responded to the floor nearest to it. So personally, I would like to see a recovery over 1118, and that way you could fill up that empty space for a retest. Otherwise, pay attention to this 1060, 1050 area. So GoPro. It's done, man. I would be paying more attention to the short volume than anything else. I don't see anything. There's no empty space. There's small pockets up above you, but they're pretty far away. Nvidia hit my third trend line, and right now we're dealing with a potential signal to the downside with a box underneath you. So under 132.41, I'd be aiming for a target of 125.31. So Celsius disregarding the acquisition. What do you mean? Good weekly candle. Looks like you're closing right around cost basis. It definitely doesn't have like a ton of empty space, but I'd be looking for, if the market allows, I'd be aiming for 39.33 and 37.90. Those would be two solid targets directly up above you, and also potential triggers to have you reversing back up to the upside. But right now you are held strong at 35.88, which is a previous wall. So APLD tried to run on Friday. It did run, but it got pulled back under, which is typically not the greatest sign in the world. The weekly candle wall is 11.17. You fell back underneath that. All right, sorry. Do you ever borrow pharmaceutical trades, clinical trials? I haven't in a long time. I have not, but I used to go look at the biopharmaceutical calendar and do exactly that, but not so much anymore. It does appear though. 1040. So, um, CLSK. All right, we're gonna do a few more guys, and then I will. I'm pretty sure my fever is going up right now, so I'm gonna hop off and try and get some rest before tomorrow. That one's definitely something that we should write down. Um, it's not the craziest setup, but it does have a decent. I did not get for the wedding. I had it was really crazy. There you go. Mic check. Oh, my audio is working. That was weird. Crispus must have reset itself. Uh, yeah, so 7160. All right. So yeah, I would be looking to see if you're gonna break over that where you could see a high attempt at 7350. You would need to go out to the weekly though. I I mean, I would be aiming for my channel top around 7550. So all right. Let's do a couple more guys. I'm starting to feel rough, so I'm frustrated because I was cleaning the house earlier when the fever hit me. And I just really don't like when that shit happens. So I've just been pushing. Um, all right. I've done SMCI. That'll be on YouTube. I did Target as well. I really don't chart bonds, man. But I guess system still works here. So there is a box up above you. Tilt has closed at that box on the weekly. So your next target up is 91.88. Um, how I and I think with that you also can look at the fact that it's maintaining this uptrend and it's also still within its downtrend. So this is a great place to look for a potential reversal, back up to at least 98. But if you were to move higher, you could, I mean, bonds have overall target. Again, I don't trade them, but I'd be looking at 104. So yeah, I do need to get some elderberry. Lulu, that's a good setup. 24-hour time frame. 331. I'll write that down. Lulu. So the list that if you want to take a second to write this down, grab your pen or put it in your phone. But Schwab, KDP, Toast, CLSK, and Lulu, looking pretty good. Obviously, SoFi is on there as well. So, all right. Oof, it's got the chills. Lulu down to 334 though. And yeah, there you go. Hourly punchback is in need of an execution here, and that's gonna be, yeah, we're gonna see over 91.55. So, um, VZ. Um, I don't like that you retraced back like you did, but it still leaves you with a target of 48.82. Um, I personally see two walls or two setups here. So one, you're refusing this wall here on VZ at 43. So above 43, easy 43.72. And then below you, you're gonna have to be on the lower time frame, but there is a pre-market box that you punch through. So I'd be watching how you respond at 42.60. It's just the Put Brothers. That's funny. All right. INTC. Just a few more folks, and I'll hopefully I'm right as rain tomorrow, and we can take some more chart requests tomorrow morning. So if they're really good setups, maybe chart them and post them in the Discord for all to see. You're looking for a breakdown of 24.40 for cost basis and really 23.66. So. Oh boy. All right. Oh, it has earnings this week. Are you sure about that? And oh, that's into it. 24 weekly. So let's see. Okay, so you have declined. I could see a target all the way down at 504 here. Because of the way you've broken down, which has not been straight, you just have been chopping sideways. Now, paying attention to how you move on earnings is important. And in this case, you know, you've been mostly in range for quite a long period of time. Um, it seems like it. Do you use EMA or MA? No, those are for people who don't know what they're doing and they need some random indicator that somebody else created that they probably don't know how it was created or what its true purpose is as a guesstimation on when they should take something or go. I personally do not use EMAs. I use no indicators. I use no news. And I believe for this reason, I'm not influenced by anything to make decisions. It's purely mechanical. And therefore, I'm returning large percentages consistently. 1,000% trades, 2,000, you know, even higher. If you go look at our gains page or go to the YouTube channel, you'll see, or even in the Discord. So, all right. We'll do a couple. I don't know. No, nope, nope. They're pointless, man. They're pointless. I really don't see or have ever. I mean, yeah. What when you're producing these type of percentages, why incorporate that? You know, it just doesn't make any sense. So, Nike, and I wasn't super pleased with this box, but Nike's holding cost basis. So if you can hold there, you can pop out a 78. I'm not a huge fan of this setup. If I'm being keeping it 1,000 with you. There does appear to be little channel action here. But yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of whatever this thing is doing. I do know that Nike could see a really nice breakout above 80. So all you use is your own support and resistance. I use what's called the Potter box, and I showed an example of, and we use this all in the 24-hour time frame, right? But this is an example of a trade that we took, and I think it was well over 1,000. Some people got like 3,000% or something like that. But so like the whole strategy, right, is we're looking for a couple of things. We're looking for structure, boxes that we have fallen out of or perhaps popped above, and then we're falling back into. And then we're looking for empty space, which there's 1,000 different names for it, but it's just where there is no resistance, there is no structure. And so when the 50% mark of any box is broken, which I was able to identify by using an indicator, well, rather a volume identification tool, which is volume profile, which showed me that on the 24-hour time frame, with all your data included, that the majority of the volume is centralized at the 50% mark, making that the strongest area of consolidation. And therefore, if it is broken, the tension or the sellers that tried to keep it down, they're eventually squeezed out of their position. And so if you put yourself in the shoes of a seller and you're trying to push, and then finally you do your job, and then it immediately reverses, reclaims the floor, which shows you that the only thing that's standing in between you and getting out of your position is the 50% mark. And then again, we trade from box to box, and we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of examples of doing this. Do you use a smaller time frame to execute trades? I do sometimes, yeah. I do. But with that being said, I would encourage everybody in here to go to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for the gifts. I don't even know what to say. I really do appreciate it. Um, uh, but I will see you guys tomorrow morning. I'm gonna go try to get some rest, get some fluids and shit. Average length of my contracts is typically the week of, depending on what day I buy them. So low risk, high reward, out of the money, target based contracts. If I see that there is structure in between me and what I want to accomplish, so like say, we were down here and had 2 boxes to run through, then I'll add a week to that expiration typically per structure. So average, yeah. So all right, guys, you have a wonderful night. I'm out. Those of you on YouTube, um, make sure to drop a comment below. And again, thank you guys for getting us to 13,000 subscribers. Make sure to go subscribe. Next goal is obviously 14 and 15. So, but anyway, you guys have a wonderful night. Peace.